Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Sunday Morning Manager. I'm Sev.
I'm Heffiewiggle. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and we're going to be bypassing all the obvious stuff that we could talk about and then just sort of focus on a few little interesting side stories that have popped up. And one right now that's sort of front and center, and it relates to something we did or talked about in our very first show. Well, of course, Kulemin and the extended goalless drought that is rapidly approaching 20 games.
Yep, stuck at 18 games right now. 18 games without a goal. I mean, something's got to give here. What do you do to get this guy going?
And to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what else you can do to get him going. I mean, he's been playing with his regular line mates. He's played with different line mates. He's had more ice time. He's had less ice time. Now, we have to sort of give Kulemin some credit here. He's not passive. He's been extremely aggressive. He's been hard on the forecheck. He's been shooting the puck well. He's been shooting it from good spots. It's just not going in, and he's putting up points. He's just not scoring, and that's, I'm not saying, oh, it's okay, at least he's getting assists. We need this guy to score. He scored 30 last year, and they need that kind of output from their secondary line. I'm not sure so much if it's a question of getting him going as much as it is pulling him back a little and saying, you know what, ease off the stick a little there, Kulemin, because it might be a case of him just trying too hard right now.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and I think I agree with you on that because when you're a goal scorer, and this is the longest goal scoring drought of your career, as it is for Kulemin, you get more and more desperate, and the more desperate you are to make plays, the more they don't happen for you. So right now, I've heard buzz around the Leafs locker room from those Jonas Siegel interviews on TSN that the coaches are basically telling him do the same thing. Eventually, it's going to start going in for you. But I mean, boy, I wouldn't want to be him right now.
No, and we just to reemphasize it, this is not like what we saw with Jason Blake a few years ago, where Blake was essentially just shooting the puck from everywhere and just heading towards the net at every single opportunity. Kulemin's still doing all the work that we saw him do last year. He's playing a 200-foot game. He's blocking shots. He's back-checking hard. He's knocking pucks loose. It's simply not going into the net for him right now. And if he was just, spraying at the net from every single conceivable angle, whether it was a good shot or not, I'd have something to complain about. But really, I can't, because he's playing so well for the Leafs right now, he just can't find the back of the net to save his life.
Yeah, and I mean, in one of those post-game interviews with Clark MacArthur, Clark was saying, he went through the same thing in Buffalo, and, not much you can do. You just got to keep playing your game, and hopefully pairing Kulemin up with Grabowski against Boston is going to spark something for him.
Definitely. And now moving on to the lighter side of hockey. It came up this week because of the changes going on in Anaheim. Bobby Ryan. Will he be a Maple Leaf? How about no?
I thought we were done with this about a year ago. I mean, the idea that Burke would go after Ryan is just so laughable.
Well, no. See, I can see him going after Bobby Ryan. The thing is, he's not going to get Bobby Ryan. There are 28 other teams. You know what? I honestly think that Anaheim would take a bag of pucks, 2 new skates, and an autographed picture of Sidney Crosby from the Florida Panthers before they took anything from Toronto to get Bobby Ryan. I mean, the absolute fleecing they took on the Boschman trade. It's mind-boggling.
Oh, you mean giving them a bag of spare parts for the most promising young defenseman in the NHL right now?
And not to mention the number 3 scorer in the NHL.
True enough.
wish I could say more about this, but
Yeah.
really.
What else can you say about it, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's no. And I've heard, this is the best one I've heard so far. I'm not sure if you've heard any ones, but this is one I got. Nikolai Kulemin and Carl Gunnarsson.
What?
Yeah. That was the proposed package. They were serious. What do you think? If we send him Gunnarsson and Kulemin, we get Bobby Ryan for that, right? What?
Are you kidding me?
No. What? I don't know. Like, have you heard any good
goodness.
ones? That's the craziest one I've heard so far.
No, the only one I've heard is Tyler Bozak and Carl Gunnarsson, but since Tyler Bozak was moved to the first line, I guess that kind of quieted down a bit. Ever since Tyler Bozak started playing good.
Yeah.
But of course, if Kulemin went to Anaheim and broke out of his slump, then people would be like, "Oh, it's the worst trade ever."
Yeah. But you know what? I really think that people have to stop thinking that Burke's going to be able to turn lead into gold with every trade. I mean, he got away with it a couple of times. I think right now, whenever the GMs look at their phone and see Burke calling on the display, it's just going to be like,
ignore.
Yeah. No, I'm not taking your call, because whatever Jedi mind trick you tend to use over the phone is not going to happen here. So, anyway.
Slandy for Franzen.
Yeah. Why not? Well, that's our show for this week. It's a short one. It's a nice light one, and we'll be back next week with hopefully something a little more serious to talk about. But didn't feel like going with the heavy stuff this week, because honestly there isn't all that much, and I think it's been covered by better shows than ours.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Enjoy the games.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.